Yeah, that's true. Do you have your AirPods in?
Yeah. Are you getting feedback
No,
or
not at
something?
all. Not at all.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, I think this is our new setup. How we're gonna have to do it?
yeah. We'll put both of them in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause I be seeing like people like do interviews with them on, and like it sounds like fine, sounds good. So I was thinking the reason they was getting feedback because when I talk, the speaker from your phone is picking up, so it's recording that audio as well.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess with the AirPods and that doesn't happen, hopefully. But without further ado, hey mom.
Mm. Hi, son.
Hey family, welcome to another episode of Bonding with Maiden and Sater, the first Black mother and son podcast.
I am Mater, aka Brooklyn. I am Brooklyn Potts. I am Brooklyn Potts, aka Mater.
And I'm James Eaton, aka Sater. Um, did you hear the good news?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody has heard the good news.
Everyone has heard the good news. Listen, we're done with the whole bad news thing. We're if we talk about bad news, we're gonna sprinkle over it. This is a family show. We want good vibes. We want happy energy. So from now on, good news only. If we talk anything bad, it's going to be at the end, and it's going to be 2 minutes. Anyway,
Yeah, very brief.
very brief. What won't be very brief, hopefully, is the sentencing for Derrick Chauvin because he has been found guilty of murdering George Floyd. Um,
Yes.
I do not have the charges in front of me, but I think it's second degree and third degree and something else. Like,
So it's second degree unintentional murder, then
mm-hmm.
it's third degree murder, then it's third degree manslaughter.
Okay, okay.
So he got charged with all three. Normally, our history has shown that most of the time in incidents like these, they normally get charged the lesser charges. But
Yeah,
in this case, he got charged with all three charges. So
right. And like I said, I hate stuff like this. I try not to follow it, but for the sake of the podcast, it's good to talk about. But I was paying attention to this trial and the little bits and pieces that I saw. The defense for Derrick Chauvin, they did a terrible job. It's like, and of course they would do a terrible job because there's no way to prove that he did not murder this man. It's caught on film,
they
broad day.
mhm,
Go ahead.
right. They did the best that they well, they kind of had us shook a little bit. Because historically, as I said, the way these murder trials kind of turn out. Um, but I think what put it over the top was the Dr. Topin. He was a specialist that was an expertise about breathing.
Hmm.
He knew all the ABCs and the one, two, threes about breathing. And so he was very engaging, to the jury, and just to the public, watching him articulate every single detail, about the last, minutes of George's life was like really, really, really just phenomenal. It was just phenomenal watching him, articulate that.
Hmm.
So he is my new favorite person. Can't think of his first name, but I know his last name was Topin.
So I'm not sure at all. So, but
Yeah,
I
it's
did
Topin.
see some of that as well.
Mm.
I kind of like caught like the beginning parts of it with the testimonies from the witnesses and stuff like that, but all the closing stuff I kind
Even
of missed.
even when the defense team, cross-examine him, they, how they like to try to trip you up and, but Dr. Topin and he was in such total control over just everything, even with how they questioned him.
Right.
He had them questioning themselves and even teaching them in some instance,
Hmm.
in their questioning and told them what they should be asking him.
Right. Exactly.
So it
And
was awesome.
yeah, and I think the interesting thing about this trial is that a lot of the witnesses are like professional people. You know what I mean? The people they had to speak, even just the passerbyers, they're not just your average day person that just happened to see this, this murder. They were like, professionals in their field and and confident people. When they went to, like I said, or in past episode when they was talking to the paramedic, he didn't waver. He knew what he saw. He knew what he did. He didn't, he said, and he meant everything he said. Same thing with the guy that was, I guess, a MMA fighter. When they when the defense was talking to him, he was very clear and he was like, yeah, I said that, I did that, I meant that. They didn't shake because they knew what they saw. They knew what they saw was wrong, and there was just no doubt in their mind about it.
Yeah, it was very emotional, just sitting there watching it, and and especially up to when it was time to give what the verdict was. Even
Mhm.
that was emotional, even though we, in our hearts we knew what the verdict was going to be, but it's a shame that it still had that little cast of doubt,
Yeah,
um, because of historically the way things, have happened.
right.
So yeah.
And I think this is from what unfortunately, this is not the first time, and it hasn't been the last. It's been hundreds, if not thousands, of cases like George Floyd's, but this is the first one that I can even think of that they've got a conviction, if that's the proper term. The only other thing I can think of was when and I hate this story, is when the I think the off duty cop, if she was either off duty or retired cop or something, I think off duty, she thought she was going into her apartment,
Oh
and
God.
yeah, and saw the dude. He was just sitting there chilling or standing up chilling, eating some ice cream, and she shot him immediately, and they
Mm.
sentenced her to 10 years. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
even
that
that was
was
a
pretty
light
much that
sentence.
was yeah, that was done and over with really fast. That wasn't like a, worldwide like this, like George
Yeah,
Floyd's
right. Yeah,
case.
not like George Floyd's, but just still nonetheless. But even still nonetheless, that's the only other conviction that I can think of. All the other times they were acquitted. You know.
And I gotta make mention about Dr. Chopin again. He did this pro bono. I think I said this in the last podcast. He can charge anywhere from, $700 upward. And that's, them flying him out. Him working around the clock, pretty much 24/7. So he actually did this pro bono,
That means free.
free.
So
Yep.
his job is to go around in court cases and do what he did with George Floyd's case.
He's yeah, he was not that that's necessarily his job, but his schooling and his experience, and um just in his field, he is the best.
The
He is,
best.
top notch. Yes.
So
He is the best. And that's what he can charge, doesn't necessarily have to be for court, but just for anything.
right. In order for him not to even charge for his services, being top notch, his time is valuable. He must have really felt strongly to, I need to be here and say my piece because George Floyd was murdered. And I need to be
Mhm.
there free of charge. I need to make sure that they get this guy and put this guy away. And that's what
Yeah.
happened. Bail revoked. His bail was
Yeah.
revoked. You know,
Yeah.
that's it. So I guess they said in like 8 weeks they're going to sentence him. So
Mhm.
hopefully they get he gets the sentence he deserves, nothing light, and that's the good news. But in other good news, the Derrick Chauvin case kind of took over just the news cycle. But I heard about this. I don't know where. Maybe just scrolling through social media, but I heard about this. This came across my radar. This happened like maybe a couple weeks ago. Says here, black descendants of Bruce's Beach owner could get the Manhattan Beach land back under a new plan. So basically, from what I gathered, there was a black family back in like the 1920s that owned land, in the beachfront in Manhattan Beach, out here. I used to work over in that area, and it's like very close to where I live. Charles and Willa Bruce, they own the land Bruce Beach, and I guess they had like a hotel business. Had tourists come and stay on their property, but obviously being that they were black, they had racist white neighbors, like threatening them and sabotaging their business, and the people that would stay there, and the Ku Klux Klan was involved as well. So, and then eventually I wish I knew all these like real estate terms, but I think they said eminent domain was
Yes.
what they used to push them out. Do you know what that means?
Hmm. Yeah, eminent domain is designed for when when there is property or just any kind of space that is supposed to be deemed for the good of everybody, for the good of all.
Mm,
So they kind of it's a legal way of taking property, but they offer you, money in exchange, for your property, but you really don't have a say so in it.
mm.
Um, Say like if there is, I don't know, all of a sudden a need for
Hospital.
a hospital, it could be anything,
Hmm.
and they're looking at your land, and they're saying that this is the best place, the best centralized place for everybody. Eminent domain can push you out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure back in that time, um, I know that these people, the sole purpose for them buying this property was because Black people weren't allowed to go to most beachfront areas, to have fun, have cookouts. We don't call it picnics anymore because we know what that term means. You do know what that term means, right? Picnic.
Now that I'm hearing the name, yes, and I forgot about it, but yeah, it's all coming back to me what that means. I don't want to talk about it on here, but
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
but yes, I know what that means. So yes, cookouts.
Yeah.
That's
So
probably why we
cookouts.
always say cookouts, huh? Just I never knew why. Like, how come we never call it a picnic? But all right, moving on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there was not many places that we could go, without being harassed or them or white people just, taking it over. So they purchased this piece of property. They spent 1,200, and I wrote it down,
Hmm.
$1,200 $22 for this property. And they turned it into a resort for Black people, so Black people could come and they could be on the beach and with their families and lay out in the sun and do all the water activities that we like to do
Mm-hmm.
in peace and with each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, the story with that, like you said, explain what eminent domain is. That's what they did. I think in 1929 to push them out of there, and to add insult to injury, they didn't really end up using that land for anything. It stayed vacant for some years. But
Mhm.
but
and
now,
then and then white people actually ended up buying it and placing their properties on it, and there's these nice beachfront homes,
mhm,
and estates. That's what happened. They kind of branched it off and sold it off.
right.
I'm not sure how many acres of land it was. Do you even call beachfront land acres of land?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
how much land it was or beachfront property it was, but yeah, several white families purchased it and took it over.
Yeah. And so I guess what ended up happening was I think in 1995, from what I've read, it changed from it being the state's property to being the county's property. And the county, I guess they could have the power to bring it to give it back to their owners or give it back to whoever, but that has to be like signed into law. So in 1995, it went from the state to the county, and I guess now today that law or whatever rules is being placed of them not being able to give the land is being revoked, being reversed. So now they're going to be able to give the land, and they're going to give the land to the descendants of Charles and Willa Bruce. And
Mhm.
like you said, they spent $1,222 on it, but now today that land is worth upwards of, the tens of 60, 50s of millions,
75, 75 million.
75 million. So I was way,
Mm-hmm.
I was way off. And I can imagine because that area is extremely nice and it's expensive, so that's where all the
And
rich kids was at.
and I did read that they are in negotiations now with leasing the land to the county, which I think is, well, it still puts more money in their pocket because
Hmm.
if you don't sell it, they will forever be leasing a lot of your properties. You know how you live in these cookie cutter um, neighborhoods, and you pay these association fees, or you live in these townhouses or condominiums or whatever, and they have what's called a what's that fee called? Well, the association fee. So you pay that fee for them to upkeep, for them to whatever. Even if you live in a trailer park or whatever, you don't own the land.
Hmm.
You're leasing the land. So if anybody owns property and somebody wants to come through and build something on your land, or some type of encroachment. Encroachment means they need to get across your land to get to their land. You can lease that plot of land. Don't sell it, lease it, because there's always money coming into your pocket. If you sell it, then you just get the one lump sum, and that's it. But if you lease it, then
It's
that's a
mm,
constant
cash flow.
cash flow.
Yes.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So, as I get older, I definitely want to get into real estate and just, that's like a prime way of earning money. Case in point with the Bruce family, and that's they had the foresight to buy that land, and even though it was taken away from the times of today are changing, and we are recognizing, or we've been recognized the wrongs that are being done to Black people, but now it seems that it's a real movement to rectify it and change it and make things right. So
Yeah.
congratulations to the Bruce family and the descendants, and good news, good news. Um, I
Yes.
don't even know what's next to even segue into it.
Well,
So
I want to hear about Snowfall. This was the season finale, right?
oh, I was gonna talk about let you talk about Married at First Sight. But if you want to hear about Snowfall, let's talk about it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty then. Snowfall. My good friend Franklin Saint. Yes, my definitely my favorite show that's been on or just probably well, yeah, no, it's my favorite show because it's Black, but Ozark is up there too. But anyway, yes, my favorite show. We've talked about it a few times doing this podcast, but yes, it's the season finale aired this week, and wow, it was not the that's a season or series. Season meaning that it's the last of this season, but there's going to be a next season. So anyway, yes, it was crazy. It was crazy. The last episode felt like the season finale because all the stuff that happened. It was like like oh. But this last episode, like, it was more so like just like tying the loose ends together and making it clear what's going to happen next, and building up a cliffhanger. But their cliffhangers are like they're not very cliffhangy. They're like I don't know, but I feel like that's good though. It's a very open ended cliffhanger for this show. But basically what happened was last episode, Man Boy's dead, Khadijah's dead, the reporter's dead. So basically all the ops are dead. You know what ops are, Mom? I'm gonna teach you a new word today.
They're optional cast members, like they can do with them or do without them.
That is the
I don't
actual
know.
that's an actual good guess, but no, that when someone says
Okay.
the ops, they're I'm really mad at because when I heard this word, but I didn't know what it meant. I just knew it meant enemy, but the word derives from opposition,
Oh,
ops, which
okay.
I don't like the origin of the word, but I do like the meaning and I do like the saying. But yes, the ops, their enemies basically all dead except for Franklin's dad, who's not really his enemy, but he did turn everything into SHIT. So the dad is on a run after realizing that the reporter's dead, and obviously Teddy, the CIA agent, killed her, and
So
he's
where's the mom?
uh,
Running is the mom running with him?
no, the mom's not running with him. We'll get there. So
Oh,
the thing was happening. Okay, yeah. So the father's on the run, kind of like he knows that the CIA agent is after him. They go on like a little radio station thing saying, I'm gonna threaten to leak the whole thing. There's no way that that reporter died in an accident. The CIA killed her, and I know the guy's real name. And da 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 da. Da. So he's
mm,
about to blow the whole lid off of everything. And the CIA agent is going to Franklin, yo, we gotta do something about your dad. You better talk to him before I do, because you know what's going to be. And the dad ain't really no punk about it. He gets to the point where it's like, no, I'm going to finish this. I don't know if he's planning on killing the CIA agent or what, but he ain't
mm,
really he wants to literally meet up with the CIA agent. And Franklin's like, nah, that's not a bad idea. Like, we need to do this another way. So he hits. Wow. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Man, Jesus. Spoiler alert. In the video, we'll put it up. That's all I can do. Anyway, they Franklin's like, no, do not meet the CIA agent. Franklin's dad hits him in the head with something, knocks him out. But
oh
before
wow.
Yes, but before that, mind you, Scully is another op that's still alive. But he's out for vengeance because, mind you, Leon killed his daughter. Jerome killed Khadijah in the last episode, and not that he was really cool with Manboy, but he's still a part of the family. Uh,
Right.
Franklin killed Manboy, so all his people are basically dead. So, and now the icing on the cake, or the last straw, was them killing the girlfriend. So now he's out for blood. So Scully shows up to Franklin's house while Franklin and his dad is there and tries to, kill him. And in the shootout, he gets shot, but he's still alive, but he's, probably going to not make it. So anyway, Franklin's dad knocks him out. The mom finds him. What happened? Blah blah blah. No, we got to get to this spot. Like, Franklin's dad is going to meet up with the CIA agent. We got to stop him. So they figure out where they're at, and there's a standoff. It's Franklin's dad, it's the CIA agent, and it's Franklin, and the mom's there, and they're like basically about to shoot each other. But the mom's like, no, 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 no. Listen, I got the because remember they was trying to run away to Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I told you that. It wasn't like you watching. But anyway, they were trying to run away to Cuba. They got the tickets. The mom was like, no, 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 don't shoot, don't shoot. I got the tickets. We can go away. You'll never hear from us again. It gets a little tense, but basically they allowed that to happen. So the mom and dad, they get on the flight to Cuba, and obviously Franklin's, broken up about it because he's basically never going to see his mom again.
Mm,
Or he could. But it seems like he's not going to see his mom again, or she's not going to be around him, with dealing with all this drug stuff and violence and all this stuff that's on his head. So
right.
Scully shows up to the hospital because Jerome's girlfriend, Louie, is shot, but she's still alive.
Mm,
But he shows up to the hospital in Louie's room with a gun to shoot her. And Louie talks him down, and Jerome is there as well. They both talk him down, but like he's basically shot and he's dying. So struggles with the gun and then just basically just drops and dies. So Louis survives, Jerome survives, and they get out the hospital and they meet with Franklin. And Franklin's all right, we're back. I'm trying to get things back in order. We need to do this and that. And Jerome and Louis is like, listen, we're about to do this on our own. So we can buy the drugs from you, but we're going to do this separate. We're going to do our own thing. And Franklin, is upset about it, but he can't really do much because Jerome and Louis are basically fed up following him because there's been so much chaos and destruction. So
mm-hmm.
then after that, Franklin goes to Leon for help, or just advice, and Leon basically tells him like, I think you should just let them do their thing, but then also I'm out of this because, mind you, he killed the daughter, and he tried to reason with the mom, and they end up killing the mom, and his head is really out of the whole drug game. But Franklin is like, no, no, no. Remember, they wanted your head, and they asked me to give you up, and I didn't. I risked everything. All this mess that happened was basically, a lot of it stemmed from you, me trying to save you. So you're not going nowhere. And then lastly, to start this all off, you forget that his girlfriend Melody, or Melanie or Melody, I'm not sure, but she was the one that originally basically told the reporter and got her going with this whole thing in the beginning of the season. So
Mm-hmm.
and the girl Melody is now living in Texas. She's over her drug addiction. She's I guess volunteering at a school, and Franklin shows up and confronts her like, "Yo, you don't know what I just went through, all because you decided to talk to this reporter," and like kind of like threatens her, but not really. I forgot what the exchange was, but Melody was saying like, "I'll do this for you, or I'll tell you this, or I'll leave you alone, or something like that, if you admit that you killed my father." Because mind you, that's what happened at the end of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Franklin was like, "Goodbye, Mel, deuces." So he walks out. He's been on a cane this whole season because Melody shot him last season. But before he leaves the cane and walks out normal, and that's the cliffhanger.
Oh, she gonna get him.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah,
that was like a spit in her face.
mm-hmm,
That what you did to me wasn't nothing.
yeah,
And you ain't seeing nothing yet.
yep,
I think he was really cocky by going there and saying you won't believe what I just been through, when he pretty much destroyed her whole life.
yeah. Oh, and then too, the mom and dad go to Havana, they're in Cuba, to get away from all this, and he's not going to snitch on the CIA agent. But guess who shows up?
Cool.
The CIA agent. He
Oh
shows up. He
God.
shows up, and he catches Franklin's dad while he's eating breakfast, and they have a little conversation. The Teddy has the gun in his hand, and they just leave it at that. We don't know if Teddy ends up killing the dad or what, but that's going to remain to be seen. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, basically Franklin is at his wits' end. His mom is gone. His dad is gone.
So
Um,
you think Franklin's gonna give it up, or
no,
you think
he's not going to give it up. I think.
why is he so invested? Like at this point, like I mean, is it money or his reputation?
I think at first Franklin wanted to prove, because Franklin was a smart kid and he was poised to go on to like a
Mm-hmm.
good school and do all that, but he gave it up, and he
Right.
felt like the drug game was his way of prominence, since school wasn't going to be it. But now he's just in so deep, he just wants to survive and continue operation. You know what I mean? And have all his people, just prosper off of it. Like I said, it's really him against the world. Everyone then turned against him. Leon is bound to turn against him. His girl and his ex girl played him out. I was like, dang,
Yeah.
Franklin looking like me out there.
Well, no, she did the ex-girlfriend didn't play him out. She got caught. She was a casualty. She was a,
Oh yeah, yeah. He basically
yeah,
did
he
her
drug
wrong.
her into that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
he should have left her alone.
Well, I mean,
So
no, well, yeah, okay, yeah, yes, I agree, I agree.
yeah,
But
he drug her into that.
his
Oh,
girlfriend,
she was on some other stuff.
yeah, yeah, she really
And
didn't
I, and
know.
I didn't even watch that much of it. I just was trying to figure out her angle when she first came on the scene, what her angle was.
Mm-hmm.
And I see how it played out. So
Man, I keep telling everyone
not
that watch the show.
surprised.
Right.
Not
I,
surprised.
I keep telling everyone that watched the show, Franklin hooked up with some Spanish girl in season 2, and that was like just a one scene, and that was it. He should have stuck with
Hmm.
that girl. I keep saying that. I don't know why, but I feel like if he was just stuck with that girl, none of this would have happened. But
No, I don't know. That's a loaded comment.
that's a load. Yeah, yeah. That's just my mind being silly. But anyway,
Okay,
yes,
because you don't want me to address that one, do
yeah,
you?
yeah, don't, yeah, yeah, please. Anyway, so yeah, um,
And don't you dare cut that out either.
no, I'm gonna keep that in. I'm keep it in. I'm keeping that in. Don't you worry. Don't you
Okay.
worry. You want to tell me about Married at First Sight?
Yeah, Married at First Sight is one of my favorite shows, my reality TV shows that I like to watch for pure entertainment. If anybody knows about Married at First Sight, oh God, I guess it came out back in 2014 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been having season after season after season. I think we're up to season number 12.
Yes.
So this is a show, reality TV show, where these experts, they interview, I don't know, they say thousands, maybe thousands of single people who are looking for love in all the wrong places. as Eddie Murphy used to say, looking for love and all the wrong. That was Saturday Night Live. You know about that?
Yes.
Yeah. So they interview these people. They give them all kinds of psychological evaluations and stuff, and see who they are compatible with. The four couples this season, they uh, never know who they're going to marry. They meet up at the altar. They don't even know their name. They know nothing about them. Zero things about them. But the experts deem that these people are compatible on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And so they get married, and they're in a legal binding, contractual marriage, before God and witnesses and the whole thing. They have the wedding, the reception, the honeymoon, the whole spiel. And it lasts for 3 months, I think. And then at the end of it, they get to, say whether or not they want to continue and be married. And they just kind of document on film these people, their everyday life, after they're married, and trying to get to know each other as organically as they can to make a decision as to whether or not they're going to stay married.
Mm.
So the couple I think that are going to stay married this season, I think, will be Brianna and Vinny. Brianna's black. Brianna's black. Mm-hmm. Vinny is Hispanic. Cute couple. Mm-hmm. Brianna's kind of bossy. She's like a engineer. Vincent, I think he sells cars. He has his own business. They just kind of complement each other really well. Then there's Claire and Ryan. Claire is kind of like a free spirit. Ryan, it seems like he's more into the church. Mm-hmm. I don't know about them. I think Ryan may let his Christianity get in the way and may feel like he's not equally yoked with Claire. Mm-hmm. I think it would be his loss, because I think that she sincerely, does or is falling in love with him.
Right.
They haven't been intimate yet, but but she's still hanging in there. She still likes him, and that's because he don't want to be intimate.
The whole Christian value thing, huh?
Yeah. That's what he's not, walking around saying it, but he is, to me, he is kind of judgy and preachy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's Paige and Chris, just a hot mess. He got his previous fiance pregnant. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he just seems typically, I kind of like hate talking about people, and being that this is like a reality TV show.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to, trash anybody, or, but I don't have strong positive words for Chris.
A douchebag, if you will.
I don't have any strong positive.
All right. I got you.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. If I'm gonna be on this show, make sure y'all match me up with someone that ain't got no kids, please. No kids, no pregnancies, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. That's single. Yeah. Me single, them single. I would be the perfect candidate for this show.
I think so.
I remember when that first.
Would you do something like that? Would you do that? Would you do something like that?
Clearly, what I'm doing is not working, so I might as well let an expert go ahead and figure it out for me. Just skip all this stuff. I say that all the time. I'll get married 1,000 times before I have a kid with somebody. So if an expert wants to interview me and use their expertise to find someone for me, we get at the altar, we have a little trial run and see if it works out. If not, get a divorce. What's the worst that can happen? It's all right, whatever. We go about our separate lives just like I do in regular life, just without all the expertise in marriage and stuff like that.
I never thought about that, but I have, from the first time this show came on, I used to be like, James, watch this, look at this, watch this. Mm-hmm. I never thought about you being I think you would be a good candidate.
I thought about it as soon as I watched it. I was like, yeah, they need to have me on there. I don't know if I wanted to be filmed though. Like,
that's the
That's a part
That's a
of it.
part of it.
Yeah, but like
That's a part of it.
if
I
I could,
think that you would do fine documenting your life, and
yeah, um, I think I would be more open to it if it wasn't filmed. But it's I would do it. I would do it. I would do it.
Mhm.
It doesn't sound that crazy to me.
Yeah.
I guess it would sound crazier to people that are already in like a happy relationship and all that. But
So so why don't you just let me pick your your potential spouse? Now listen, you're my son.
uh
I know you. I know what you like. I know what's good for you. I
huh.
do. I
You
do.
do.
That sounds crazy.
Uh huh.
As crazy as that sound, it's true.
Do you?
I've already prayed for whoever this young lady is,
Hmm.
for all my children. So I know what they, even though I don't physically know what they look like, I know what they look like.
Hmm.
I know what that looks like.
Do you feel that way about all your children?
I feel that way about every single one of my children.
Okay, so
Yes.
you're saying that you be able to find someone in Jersey to be my wife.
Doesn't necessarily have to. She can live right there in California with you.
Okay,
I
I need it. That's
spending time upon spending time with them. You know what I mean? I mean it definitely be like a, not saying it'll be a courtship like she's courting me or anything,
hmm
but parents usually know, and this is so important because I don't think you kids think that we know that. You know,
hmm
especially with the relationship that we have. I know I can talk to you guys just about all of you about your relationships and stuff. And
hmm
and when you share things that have happened, and this is not even marriages, this is just relationships. We know, like, that's not, that wasn't
Right.
a nice thing, or no, you didn't say a nice thing, or why are you acting like that, or why are you know what I mean? So we can, I really think we can fairly assess who you guys should be with,
Hmm. Okay.
or even consider being with. Not saying that you have to, but I think that you guys should take your parents' thoughts into consideration. That because you should know that we got your best interests. We're looking out for you because these are people who are we're gonna consider our children
Right.
at some point. And not to say that they're marrying me and they got to like me and all that. So you could be somebody out there that absolutely don't like me, but if she's good to you,
That's all that matters.
you yeah, and but you have to handle her and be like, listen, that's my mother,
Oh
and
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah, yeah. Right, right. Yeah.
so
That whole spill. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's
so
funny. So yeah, you've never thought about me being on Married at First Sight, but I've never thought of
no.
you being the expert in that, said
Wow.
situation. Never thought about that.
See?
Being matchmaker.
Yeah.
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 And you said the right thing to kind of get me on board. You said that it could be someone in California. Cause you had me a little
Yeah.
worried. I was like, oh, you gonna get follow me someone in Jersey. I don't know.
No, no. It doesn't matter where they are from. If they are generally a good person, I mean, unless they are a good actor and they just,
A
you
lot of
know,
a lot of them
let's see,
have
we can't,
Academy
yeah,
Awards out here.
but see, we cancel out any weapon that tries to be formed against us. I'm telling you, I pray for this. So
Right.
no weapon formed against us shall prosper.
Okay.
So
I like
I
that. I
speak
like that.
that over all of y'all
All
with
right.
everything in me.
Hey,
Yes.
listen. If whether it's you or Married at First Sight, I can't do it. Someone else is going to be in someone else's hands, and I'm fine with it. I'm just gonna, continue doing what I do and bettering myself. But outside of all that dating stuff and relationships, I'm leaving up that to God, you, the Married at First Sight, the people at Lifetime, whoever wants to do it. It's you got it. I'll let you do it. So that's all I got of my plate. This is a fun episode. This felt good. This felt good.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's more indicative of our conversations of what we, do have, without it being a podcast, that
r-
truly, is something that not rehearsed or,
mhm, definitely
yeah,
true. Definitely true. So it's good that we were doing the podcast.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but before we go, I do want to give my condolences to this kid. Terrence Clark was a NBA prospect. I think he played for the Wildcats. Was a college player, and he died in a car accident out here in LA this week or a couple of days ago. So rest in peace. I think he was probably 20, if not
Mm,
19 or 20. Young kid. So
young,
yeah, rest in
whole
peace.
life ahead of him.
Whole life ahead of him.
Condolences to the family.
Yeah, and then Shock G. We lost another hip hop legend. It's this I think this is like the third week in a row. We lost DMX, then Black Rob, and now Shock G. He passed away suddenly. They found him in his hotel room at the age of 57. So mind you, DMX was 50, Black Rob was 51, and Shock G is 57. So a lot of people are passing in their 50s. It's and hip hop
Yeah,
legends as well. It's sad.
I don't like that. I don't like that number. I think we're still young and vibrant and we got a lot of
Extremely.
life ahead of us. So we got
Mhm.
to really, just pay attention to our health and listen to our body
Yeah. And
and see the doctors.
right. And also too, I want to say rest in peace and give my condolences. Remember, I told you cousin Beatty randomly butt dialed me one day, and we had that yeah, his dad passed
Yes.
away, and he
Your
was in his
dad
50s as
called
well.
me and told me that.
Hmm.
Yeah, your dad called me and told me that. And just sitting back reminiscing about him, and they were living in Virginia or something, and I think Ebony is still in Virginia. She moved there with him or something.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't even really remember him like that, but
Yeah,
I
I
think
remember
so.
him well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
My dad said
condolences.
they've been
Go
around
ahead.
each other since like he was in first grade, so my dad knew him all his life.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, him and Judy go way back. So yeah, I am so sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
So I think his name was Mike too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
But
would you call him? You
we
call him
called
something?
him we called him Mike.
Mike,
Well, oh no, Mike was the son.
the son. Yeah.
His name was just Big Mike.
Just Big Mike. Yeah. So rest in peace,
Hmm.
Big Mike. And condolences, cousin Beatty, cousin Mike, cousin Ebony. We love y'all.
And Judy.
And Judy.
Yeah, I don't know if Big Mike was married, but
I don't think so.
those were the father. Okay, those were the father, or
Hmm.
he was the father to her children.
Yep. Yep.
So
So
cousin Judy, my condolences to you.
yep. So all right, that's it for this episode. Also I want to point out I thought I lost the test episodes, so that's why they're not uploaded, but they're here. I got to listen to them and get all the time stamps and everything together, but I will be releasing them this week. And since I missed last week, I'll release two of them. So we get two previously recorded episodes. This is the stuff we did, in preparation for this podcast. They're a little dated, not too dated. I think one dates back to July, and then the next one will date back to January. But they will be out for you guys to listen to. Shout out to the family. Shout out to all of our supporters. You know, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, check out our new website. It's I really liked how it came out, and we're gonna keep on rolling.
Yes, we are.
Yep, yep. So
Thank thank you for listening.
thanks for listening, guys. That's it. That's all. Love you, mom.
Love you too.
All right, I'll be talking to you.
And okay, I'll talk to you later, baby. Bye.
All right, bye.